Test. Hey, what's going on? How's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing okay. Yeah, so it's Monday. We used to have Taco Tuesday. We now have Taco Mondays. Taco Monday is, Trump always chickens out. So this Iran war is crazy, right? And I want to talk about the Iran war and some other stuff, but I also want to do some first to the usual house cleaning. Hope everyone's doing okay. Hype, like, comment, share, subscribe. Everybody who comes in here, hit the hype button, hit the like button. And you have the option to super chat or send gifts or whatever. If you do, then we will read your comment. And yeah, patreon.com/champagne sharks. We're recording some episodes. They're going to come out soon. I hope everybody is doing okay. Hope everyone's doing well. Wanted to talk about some listener feedback. So real quick. The main thing I want to say is, everybody's entitled to do what they want. If you like what we talk about, by all means, listen. If you don't like what we talk about, you're free to live. Free to leave. But regardless, try to express yourself constructively. That's the main thing that I want to tell people. Like, at the end of the day, you should try to express yourself constructively. And if you hit a point where the show bothers you so much, constructive with how you feel about it. Like, if it's just, is that bad for you? Then by all means, move on. And I'm not saying that in petulant, oh, you can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna do what I want, and you can beat it. It's not even like that. If you want changes in the stuff that we talk about, or if you want to still talk about things that we talked about 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, that's fine. You're entitled to want that, and you can suggest it. If it's something that's in our inclination to do, we'll do it, whatever. But to be petulant, and then on top of that, people chime in to say what they don't like rather than what they rather hear. It's not really constructive either. But I'm gonna give some examples. Hey Charles, how's everyone doing? I'm gonna give some examples of what I mean. Just give me a second. And then we're going to talk about the Iran war. So, just have a lot of stuff open. But yeah, so Trump walked back a lot of stuff. But Trump has this thing now that he's doing where he's trying to have a war, but a weekend war. And sometimes an evening war. Like he's trying to fight a war while watching the stock market and the oil markets and everything. So what he'll do is he acts like everything's cool. And then when he's trying to do diplomacy and run a war the way people used to play that game, red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. So red light, green light, 1, 2, 3 is that one where you face the wall. And then when no one's looking, you try to tiptoe, and then the person goes red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, and they turn around, and whoever's seen moving when they turn around gets in trouble. That's what Trump is doing. Trump is basically like the market is the Squid Game. I think had red light, 1, 2, 3 with that robot girl that would turn around, and if it catches you moving. So it's like when the market's looking, he's like, hey guys, everything's okay. Then when the market's not looking, as it's closed, he's like scrambling. Then the market looks and he's like, whereas the other side is just having a war, and like that's not gonna work. He's got to pick a side here, but he doesn't have the stomach for this. But the thing that's helping him is that the market is just really stupid. So, he's able to get by on that his manipulations, as crazy as they are, they oddly seem to work, so something else real quick I want to bring up before we get to it. I wanted to hold on a second. Ken is around, so if you want, so I'm gonna see if he wants to hop on. So yes, I want to address something real quick related to the last episode. So right here. So remember I was talking about how Andrew Tate is clearly coping. Well, somebody posted this on Twitter. It turned out, it was revealed Andrew Tate opened $11,600 short on oil at $95. The price moved against him. Instead of cutting the loss early, he held until the market forced him out and got liquidated at 98.11. He ended up losing negative 285,800. His all-time loss is almost $1 million. So that's kind of what I was talking about when I was saying that he was clearly in the middle of cope. So I can't brag that much about it because to me it was pretty obvious. Like that's one of those things where it's not that I'm that smart, but I just couldn't believe other people were just that clueless about it. But can I talk about one more thing? Okay, so right here. Give me a second. So somebody, I want to pull up the screen, but it's not coming up. But somebody had asked me a while ago, a couple weeks ago, I had asked people, hey, give me ideas of things that you want me to talk about. A lot of the stuff I haven't had a chance to get to yet, but I took it down. I took down things that people wanted me to talk about. One person had sent this. I'm gonna put it on the screen now. So right here, somebody put it's showing on the screen. Okay, good. Chicken chow mein 77, about 8 days ago. At this point, it'd be about 11. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on new atheists, atheist YouTube call-in shows, atheist versus theist debates, atheist versus flat earther debates. For example, Professor Dave versus Lord Jamar, Matt Dillahunty, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Deconstruction Zone, Eric Peterson / Planet Peterson. I'd also like to hear what you think about Michael Tracy's take on the Epstein saga. He says it's basically mass hysteria and a moral panic, just like the satanic panic of the 1980s. This one I was kind of interested in doing. I was actually interested in reaching out to Michael Tracy about that. But at the same time, like the Epstein stuff I'm kind of torn on because it's kind of become this weird left-wing QAnon. right? But okay, I'll be honest. A lot of this stuff here, I'm not sure why this guy wants me to talk about atheists. I know nothing about the topic. It's not something I know. A lot of the ex new atheists kind of pivoted into becoming different types of figures on YouTube, and apparently, like the atheist community spawned a bunch of people. Like I think ContraPoints was in the old new atheist community. I mean, it's all interesting stuff. I would like to see someone else talk about it, but I don't really have anything to contribute to that discussion. But I had made a mental note that the Michael Tracy stuff I might do. All this stuff I don't really know. The flat earther debates, like I don't understand. Like things I talk about, even if they're like technically on the gossip level. If you guys notice, and I hope people notice, I try to take transferable life lessons from anything. So even if we're talking about sports, we're talking about stuff. We like to talk about character. We like to talk about, how people look at that world, look at the world, and stuff like that. Like stuff that kind of gives you some game about how to live in the world. Like what life lessons can you get from what's happening here? And I like to think that we succeed, but even if we don't, I hope that it comes across that that's what we do. Like the flat earther thing, the problem with that is like I get it as spectacle, but I mean I don't think anybody in our audience is seriously entertaining flat earther logic. Like it seems like one of those arguing to argue. It's like one of those jailhouse conversations, like people just argue to argue. Maybe this goes over my head. I don't understand like the real life constructive aspect of a flat earth debate, but I also don't get the entertainment value of it. I don't understand it. Is the joke that you're laughing at the guy who believes in the flat earth, or that you're invested in proving him wrong because you care that people like you find flat earthers to be some kind of threat or an evil? Look, I don't really know, but I made a mental note that I would think of I'd look to the Meek Mill one, but not the other one, and I didn't really think much of it. But then after the last episode, the same guy wrote back. And I don't know if maybe in the 8 days he was waiting for atheist talk. I have no idea. But he came back and sent this. And this is an example of what I'm talking about when I say, like, no matter what I talk about, I try to make a teachable moment. Like, I'm not going to just bring the guy up just to argue with him or, to beef with him. I'm going to put it up here. So in the comment section, people putting stuff like, I appreciate you talking a little bit of detail about the oil markets. Stuff is complicated. I miss these streams, give my thank yous. Talking about Andrew Tate, whatever. I think this is about Andrew Tate. I missed this one. Okay, so here we go. Trevor has done this video many times before. It's like he's making the same videos, talking about the same subjects over and over again. Just like the J. Cole videos, the anti-woke art video, the millennial writers video, the Kendrick Lamar video, the Drake video. It's like Trevor is stuck on a loop, or his needle is stuck in a groove. Now, we were talking about, I broke down the oil market and how the oil market works. And I think that's an important thing for people to know, because if that thing goes south, it's going to destroy the whole economy and jobs. Like that, I think, is useful information. But it's also something that I don't think I've ever discussed before. I mean, the idea that, we're just talking about the same stuff over and over again. Like it might be under the same umbrella, which is part of having like a area of expertise or whatever. But we talked about a lot of things. We talked about Andrew Tate. We talked about how people, what it means for the fact that scam world is coming apart, what it's like to live in scam world, and different things. But okay, that's fine. Whatever. Um, Trevor has the bandwidth to talk about fresh topics and cover new material. What's going on? All this stuff he's talking about is stuff he has already talked about in damn near the same way. Okay, again, I disagree, even though there's a consistent message. I still think we come at things a different way, but fine. I enjoy the podcast, but this is beginning to feel like dementia, or he's just phoning it in. So the dementia thing I thought was a bit much, but okay. But I don't want to be too down on Trevor because he mixed in little current events with tired ass Andrew Tate. I see no reason to even talk about Andrew Tate, certainly not for over an hour in March 2026. If this was immediately after he got beat up by the homosexual, then I can understand, but that time has passed. That's old. Tate is old. Tate is boring. So then I responded, if this bothers you so much and you feel that repetitive and lacking in value, this may not be the channel for you, because this is what I feel like talking about and enjoy. And there's only going to be more of it. Now, I know tone doesn't come across in text. So perhaps, I don't know, maybe this came off snippy. You tell me. I tried to make it as respectful as possible. I actually first put, with all due respect, but then I deleted that part because I was like, okay, well, he said I seemed like I have dementia or whatever. I don't have to overdo being nice to him, but I was trying to be like very matter of fact, because the way I look at things, right, is at this point, at my age, I just want to talk about what I want to talk about that brings me joy. I got a day job. I don't really need this to live, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy, interacting with people to a degree and everything. But it's like the idea of chasing the algorithm or having to run around trying to figure out people want, like, I just want to talk about what I want to talk about, and whoever's on that wavelength, by all means, go along for the ride. But again, I didn't think this was particularly rude. It was just true. Like, I'm not at the point now, like, where I'm really gonna argue or justify the content, So I said, like, again, read it again. If this bothers you so much and it feels that repetitive and lacking, this may not be the channel for you. Like, because this is what I want to talk about. So again, I don't think I was wrong, but whatever. I thought it seemed pretty calm, but this is what annoyed me. It goes, didn't mean to hurt your feelings. That pissed me off so much. I hate that, because it reminds me of a kind of person I have to share the earth with that is becoming more and more normal. And that's why I call this the internet foreign personality. That's what this title is. And this is what I mean by that. I like to take specific things and extrapolate it to like life and like life lessons and things, because this is like the worst thing you can write to me. Like, the only thing worse than this is when people say just my opinion. Like, they just pop off, they say just my opinion, which means nothing. Like, what is that at? Like, I get nitpicky about language, and you gotta think it's weird, but maybe when you hear me out, it'll make sense. Didn't mean to hurt your feelings. What work is that doing there? Like, what is happening there, right? And I want you to think about that. Like, he writes a whole paragraph ranting First, he writes a paragraph about all these things that he wants me to talk about that are not normally in my wheelhouse. He doesn't get it for like a week, and then he comes in and just does this like pissy rant, and accuses me of having dementia and being stuck and wasting time or whatever. And I think I responded way more calm and even keeled and respectful than I needed to. I think I could have been justified getting more irate, but I took what I thought was a firm but fair high road and whatever. And then the response is, didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Like, why would you want to be that person that lives life like that? Like, that's depressing to me. Like, it's so not about whatever you're pretending it's about. Like, you come in and your feelings are clearly hurt in some kind of way, right? Because you're acting out and it's disproportionate to whatever the crime is. Like, you can just turn off a stream. You can just move on. But it's like you're kind of butthurt about it. Like, I don't think anybody can look at our two responses and say that I was more emotional or offended or taken aback by you. To the worst you could say that I was, one could say I was mirroring your energy. So, like, why say that? But the second thing is, even if my feelings were hurt, like, say my feelings were so sad, I went under the desk and I bawled for 4 hours. I was just crying. My wife came in. She's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "You don't understand. Chicken chow mein. He didn't like the stream. I don't know what to do." I'd call my mom and I'd be like, "Listen, Mom, this is the worst day of my life." But like, maybe it hurt that bad. What does it have to do with anything? Right? Like, let's say you read that amount of hurt into the sentences. What does this mean? Didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Because you're not saying sorry. You're just saying didn't mean to hurt your feelings. There's no, like, I hurt your feelings, I feel bad about it. There's no bringing up any of the content of what you said. There's no you saying, well, I think you should do what I talked about because X, Y, and Z. Or, well, I think that's going to make your show worse, and here's why. Like, it's only there to, like, project and get, like, the hurt off you, but also, like, to taunt. Like, it's childish. We're grown people. Like, it's like, I know you are, but what am I? I guess I hurt your feelings. Like, there's this thing that people do now, and I'm bringing this up because don't be this person, right? Where you live in a world of going by other people's reactions rather than being inner directed by your own compass. And what I mean by is this. If you go online, this is what internet forum personalities do, because they use other people as a mirror. They live in this world of, they're constantly a walking profile. They're a commenter profile. They're a Twitter profile. They got like a profile brain, and everything's about what reaction am I getting from another person. And you measure things by the reaction. You measure, did I win or lose because my argument was the best or I made the most sense, or did I win or lose because I got the right reaction from the other person? If I said something that made no sense, but it went viral because people didn't really pick it apart and realized that made no sense, or worse yet, it wasn't even true. I used an exaggeration or a lie, but I got the dunk. That's a good tweet. Or, if I ratioed during the debate, I won the debate. And then the other two things is you hurt the other person's feelings, or the other person got mad. So you'll be arguing people online. This is why I got off of arguing on Twitter and whatever. It should drive me fucking nuts. You'll be talking with someone and someone's like, wow, it seems like you're mad. And then they put the smiley face. And the person you could tell is typing mad, even though they're like putting the smiley face. Oh, I could tell you're mad. Smiley face, smiley face. I'm not bothered. And then they expect you to get caught up in a I'm not mad off, where it's like the both of you are both trying to pretend you're performing that, hey, I'm not mad, you're mad, while also trying to project like the mad. And it's two reasons that bothers me is that has nothing to do with whether anybody's right or wrong. If there was a good debate to be had, it's been eaten up by this stupid nonsense. But the second thing is, when did having feelings become bad? Like, sometimes when you talk to an idiot, you get mad. Like, you're supposed to get mad. Like people would be like, "Wow, looks like you're mad." I'm like, and I would respond like, "I am mad because you're stupid. Like, I'm mad because I got shit out with you. Like, and now what?" I go, "Well, then you shouldn't be so mad." I'm like, "Well, okay, I'm mad." And anyway, answer X, Y, and Z. Like, answer the argument, and they couldn't get over the fact that you don't care about being mad. Like, men are supposed to get mad sometimes. I don't understand when we started getting these like weird men who think being mad about something is like losing. Like, that's being righteous. Like, everybody should have moments of righteousness sometimes where you just know that you're right and the other person is wrong, and there's a principle, or the person crossed a boundary. Like, I never understand why you're supposed to feel bad. But this is worse. This is worse than starting an apology with "I'm sorry, you," because there's no apology. Like, that's the word. It's not like, "I'm sorry, you felt that way." This is just saying, "So you felt that way." It's not. He's declaring himself like the winner of something that didn't even happen, And the reason I get some sense is because, like, it's a bitch ass energy, and now you force me to have to internalize it by reading that, and now that I have to be reminded that energy exists, and it's like, what do you do with it? Because like, what they want you to do is go to the level of the ridiculous comments. So if you defend yourself by saying like, you're not butthurt, they just make you look more but like, it's like none of it is built around the substance of the point. It's, you get into this weird kind of like childish kind of reaction, like, because that's how children that win arguments. Like, someone older tells a kid what to do, and the kid knows that he can't really make a good logical point. So the kid will just be like, we'll start mocking you. And it's like, and because it's way easier to bring somebody down and make them lose their cool than it is to elevate somebody up. That's why, like, for an adult trying to make the kid act right, even though he's older and the kid is younger, he's got to sit there and think, damn, this kid's being an idiot. Like, how do I handle this? Like, without scarring this kid for life? Like, what constructive thing can I do? Like, and I just whack this kid upside his head. Like, how can I discipline him but not be whatever? But to just make someone lose their cool, like, any kid can do that. Like, it's easier for like a young child to make a 35-year-old adult like lose their cool just by catching them on a bad day or just being annoying than it is for an adult to actually, or for anybody to lift up another person to a higher level of vibration. So it's like, to be a grown person and operate at this level is really disturbing to me. You know, like, you're a grown person and you're doing the, I know you are, but what am I? Oh, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to hurt you. Like, and that disturbs me. Like, this is why I got so sick of being on Twitter, because just finding out like people who form their ways of communicating on social media, they're frozen. They're frozen in this weird kind of performance. Are you mad? Are you mad? I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Are you mad? Like, people just saying that in person, like, you know, you just think out of pocket of somebody and really, like, that character used to be the annoying character in a sitcom. Like, that was like Brainy Smurf from the Smurfs kind of thing. And he used to just kick his ass and make him land on his head, like 5 miles from town. Like, if you remember the old cartoon, like, picture in real life, like, you know, and then someone was like, well, you know, if you don't like it, you can go. Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Like, picture in person having a conversation as a man with another man. I should stop saying man, because it's not as good for a grown woman to do either, you know? But yeah, like, that drives me nuts. So I responded, based on their passive aggressive projection onto me or feelings, my response in no way indicated. It seemed my refusal to change topics for your feelings. Like, how can you insult me? I calmly ignore the insults, respectfully tell you I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and if that bothers you, you're free to move on. And somehow, like, you're the one that gets hurt and pissy, because it was like really annoying, like, that thing. And it says, I demanded nothing, only suggested, which has nothing to do with any of the other stuff that we talked about. Like, now you're being pedantic. Like, actually, it wasn't demand, it was a suggestion. Okay. Any suggestion that you get that upset about not being acknowledged at that point because of demand. But, you know, whatever. And there was another one, but now I can't find it. There was someone else who complained about, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to say. Like, it's fine to disagree. It's fine to not like what you like. If you express it constructively, I'm all for it. But I'm saying, not even for myself, but for yourself, don't be that kind of person, because it's not good for you. Because this is what's going to happen. I feel like that kind of personality forms out of a kind of resentment. Like, on some level, when you communicate like that, you've internalized this idea of, you've almost kind of given up on people liking you. So you kind of load everything you do with this kind of, I don't care about whatever. It's like this kind of hostile kind of arrogance with demand, but it's built in with self-handicapping. It's like something that you do where it's like, if I never try to act like I'm being liked, then I could bring about rejection on my own terms. If I try to act nice and whatever, and I don't get my way, I'm going to feel extra bad, the rejection. So everything I do, everything I ask for is going to have an air of inviting scorn. And I don't know if the guys understand what I'm trying to say. I mean, I think it's the kind of thing where if you encounter the type and you know the type, you know what I'm talking about. But it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy when you live your life like that, with like bitch ass ways. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start getting those responses that you're going to then use to justify being the way you are, but you're not going to realize that the energy you're carrying with you is why you keep getting those responses. You know, you're going to justify yourself based on that. You realize that you're creating the exact world that you made this behavior to actually try to shield yourself from. Like this defensive behavior you've made to shield yourself from a certain type of world is creating that world for you. Because think about this. And then we're going to move on to another comment. But think about this. If you really, really wanted me to do this for you, right? Why would you have this tone? Like, say I wanted to meet you where you are, and I wanted to, you know, take the constructive criticism. You like when you come off in this way with this attitude, you've almost forced the person to be defensive. Like, I have no desire to talk about atheists and flat earth stuff, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think most of the audience wants to hear about that. If I am, put it in the comments. But after, like, why would you lead like that? Am I crazy? It seems like a crazy way to lead off if you want certain replies. Yeah. So I find it very, very bizarre to move through the world like that. And that's what a lot of people do. They try to get what they want, but they don't want to look like they're trying too hard for it. So they kind of have this kind of sarcastic, aloof, dry, or passive aggressive type of thing that they navigate the world with, but they're also trying to still get things from people with this shield on. And yeah, I don't think it's a healthy way to be. Anyway, there was another comment that I found interesting. Hey, Adam Bull, how's it going? Kenny sent this one to me. I didn't see it, but he sent this one to me, and I'm gonna put this one on the screen once I can pull it up. But it was a YouTube comment. I don't know exactly. Okay, so this is it. Let me put it on the screen. I guess it was in reply to this guy, but I don't see it anymore. So for some reason I can't see it, but luckily I saved it. So this guy put, there it goes. I agree with the guy. I used to pay for the premium, but your quality and content has taken a nosedive, so I stopped. How many of your listeners do you think invest in Bitcoin or even the stock market? The rap videos made me leave, to be honest. Like, who gives a shit? Now, this one I think is kind of interesting. First, you call it content, which is already a bad sign to me, personally. I personally don't want to make content. But, like, I'd rather you say, like, the quality and the podcast went down. Like, please don't call it content. But when it's called content, also, it makes you feel like, okay, this is meant to fill like a space in your day or your life. What the show or what I do is about is context. I don't want to do content. What I want to do is context. And with context, you can shape all the content you come across in the world into something useful. Like, content is like empty calories, just food you eat right now. Like context teaches you how to cook. You know, like content just dependent on somebody to be a mood changer. That's what content is. Like content's like a drug. Content's like alcohol. It's like emotional eating. Like content is there to change your mood. It's there to change your mood and offer you some escape. And this a lot of people do that. And that's fine. I do context. And context is the game that's being sold, the thinking, the process. Now, if you take the process, you can read the New Atheist thing for yourself. You can, if you're the other guy, you can go to whatever this guy would rather analyze and bring the game there. Like, I feel like no matter what we've been talking about, whether it's something that seems very silly on the surface, like Andrew Tate and the Red Pill guys, something universal and timeless in terms of good game, in terms of how to think about things, how to see through bullshit, is going to come through. And that's what I want people to take away. You know, so it's like he said the quality, so maybe the quality covers the context. Maybe the quality is the is a degraded context. Like I'm not thinking as sharp as before. I'm not making the connections, but that's what I want people to do. Like what I like is when people come to me and say something that you talked about. I looked at this thing that I used to see every day, and I see it in a different way now, and I want to share it with you. I'm like, okay, that's good. You took the game and you did something with it, and now you're bringing it back. You know, but there's a lot of if you want certain topics and you're married to the idea of the topic, I don't think it's really for you, because I'm at this age now. I'm over 50. I'm tired of pretending to be interested in things I'm not interested in anymore. It's just I'm not in school anymore. I'm done. Yeah. So like, if it just doesn't interest me, it's hard. I gotta find like the hook in it. I don't want to chase. I'm not gonna say whatever's popular, because the New Atheist stuff is not even popular. But anyway, the other thing that struck me about this, he says, I used to pay for the premium, but I stopped. I hate when people say that. I hate when people say that. I would rather you just say, this used to be great, and it's not anymore. And here's why. And I prefer that, because when you start with, I used to pay for the premium, or I subscribe again, I feel like you're trying to dangle $5 in front of me to make me listen harder, you know, or to give it extra weight. It just seems like weird. Like, okay, if you just said that you stopped listening, that's just as fine. Like, why? I just think capitalism trains us to do that. Like, capitalism just trains us to kind of use money as a leverage. Like it's just kind of weird. Like it feels like what teachers must feel like when students like demand for a grade, and they say stuff like, "I pay your salary" or something, and then they get. I feel like it's like that. It's I don't know. That again, language is like particular to me. That annoys me. Maybe you think I'm overthinking it, right? But the other thing that strikes me by the sentence is like, okay, you didn't like enough to pay for it, but you're still coming around for what? Like, is the idea that you're coming around just in case it gets better? I don't know. Are you coming? But it's weird. Like, you're not paying for it. You're not sharing a constructive feedback about what you want to see in it. But you're not giving up the show either. You're still coming around for free, but reminding me that you used to pay, and then saying, who gives a shit about what you're doing now? Now, I think it's kind of strange, right? Because How many of your listeners do you think invest in Bitcoin or even in the stock market? A lot of people invest in stocks, but the second thing is you don't have to, and we're going to talk about this when we talk about the Iran war. You don't have to invest in the stock market to understand how it works, because right now this thing is running your life. World War III is happening on the verge, and it's all being dictated and moved by a madman just because he cares about oil prices and the stock market, because he cares about his approval ratings, because he cares about the midterms, and he's running this war based on the stock market. If you're working, you have a 401k, the stock market is affecting you're affecting what you might retire with. When people can retire, who's going to win the next election, who's going to lose the next election because they presided. Like, it's not a useless thing to know. I understand if you say, I don't like the stock market, because that's fair. Maybe you don't. But it's not like I'm giving people investing advice. Like, if I was giving people investing advice, then I could say, oh, I don't care about stocks. I don't own stocks. I'm telling you to buy this stock or sell that stock. I'm just telling you how the market works and how it affects bigger things. So yeah, I don't think. First, I think it's weird to act like the stock market and Bitcoin are niche things. If they were niche things, Trump wouldn't be scared like he is now, and the Republican Party wouldn't be scared shitless. Like, it's like I find it very weird when people say stuff that they're not interested in, no one's interested in, because I think that's like a weird type of arrogance or presumptuousness. The same way that he thinks because he doesn't like hip hop, who gives a shit? Like, he didn't say the rap videos made me leave. Like, who? And this is another thing about the nuance of language, right? Instead of saying I don't invest in Bitcoin and I don't invest in the stock market, and the fact that I don't do those things makes me not interested. Me, accountability, get in touch with your own feelings. Instead, he goes, how many of your listeners do you think invest in Bitcoin or even in the stock market? So it's like, okay, because I'm not interested in it, then no one's interested in it. That's a very big tell in personality. When people say stuff like that, like I notice it. People always like ask me, like, like, how do you read people so good? And it's like, because a lot of things people take for granted in language, like I tend to notice, and that's one thing that you can't fathom someone else, even that someone else is the majority and you're the exception. Like, it's a very solipsistic, I guess, kind of view, right? And he does the same thing in the next sentence. The rap videos made me leave because I don't give a shit. He doesn't do that. He goes, the rap videos made me live. Who gives a shit? As if there isn't a generation of people, multiple generations across the world that likes rap. It's because I don't like rap. Who gives a shit? Like, the way I feel should be how everyone else feels, to the point that I'm treating it like it's what everyone else feels, and everyone else doesn't feel like me doesn't count. That says a lot. I mean, you don't think it does? Changing, from I feel to who I don't care to who cares, or how many of your listeners. Like, if my listeners were complaining, they would say so about the stock market. Like, the people are still listening. Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to say. Like, I don't mind we get constructive criticism all the time, but I hate this low vibrational way that people, and this I feel is another part of the internet form personality. Because you do the comments all the time. Someone makes a video and someone comments, "Who cares?" Like, why would you come into a video that you don't like to say "Who cares"? And the video had like 1 million views or something, or it's a very popular video, and it's like, it would be weird enough to come in and say "I don't care," but you're saying "Who cares?" Like that's a particular personality, the personality that just treats like their feelings like the objective feeling that everybody should and does feel, and that they have the right to judge you for caring about something that they don't. It's very, very, it's very self-centered behavior. And the thing with people like this is, like, if you try to tell them something, then they'll just be more confirmed. Oh, he looks like he's mad, or oh, looks like his feelings are hurt, whatever. Like, the same thing that makes them off-putting to people, they take the reaction to that as proof that they're somehow right, so all that we get out of that is, oh, so your feelings were hurt. So you are angry, and they don't really see that they're just like annoying people. Like, and people pick up the energy of stuff like that. Like, even if they don't fully break it down the way I break it down, when you talk like that, when you say like, when someone says they're interested in something, and then the person goes like, well, nobody cares about that, or who cares, or whatever. Like, you give off a vibe, and then people will start not liking you, even if they don't understand like why they don't like you. Like, when your language leaks, those type of traits, people pick it up, even if you were to ask them what was it. That's what people mean when they say, like, it's got a vibe or it's got a feeling. It's usually on an unconscious level. They made the same calculation that I made. So anyway, that's the end of that. Anyway, let's talk about the stuff they meant to talk about. Yeah, but you have the right to leave, or you can stay and express yourself constructively, not with I used to pay, but I want you to know that I withheld my money. Yeah, there's a lot better ways to share what you're thinking. And even now, I don't think I was very disrespectful, but I thought it was a good teachable moment. Anyway, moving on. This Iran war is crazy. I want people to understand what President Trump is doing, so we don't get too invested in his words. He's basically trying to play this peekaboo game of the stock market and have this war going on, but also smile at the U.S. public and say, like, no, it's not going so bad. Do you know what he's doing right now? He's doing steamed hams with Principal Skinner and Principal Skinner and the superintendent. You guys know steamed hams from The Simpsons, where there's like a fire happening in the kitchen, and Simpson and Principal Skinner is trying to keep the superintendent calm and not realize that he has a fire going on in the kitchen by talking about steamed hamburgers and all this other stuff. Like, right now, President Trump is Skinner, the kitchen is Iran, and Chalmers is America. I would play steamed hams, but it'll definitely get struck down. It'll definitely get struck down by the algorithm. So yeah, please Google steamed ham. Google steamed ham, please. And you'll see it's exactly what he's doing. So This is last Friday. Friday, he says, at 12 p.m., we're flying wherever we want. Nobody's even shooting at us. And then at 4 o'clock, when the market closes, Iran being the first country to hit the
there. Just about everything there is to obliterate, including leadership. The Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft equipment is gone. We're flying wherever we want, Pete. We have nobody even shooting at us.
Yeah, so he said nobody's shooting at us, and then someone gets shot. But of course, you don't find out about the fact that a plane got shot down and they still have missiles until 4. I'm gonna keep moving down the line. So check this one out. This is also from last week. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says Iran is the head of the snake for global terrorism. And through President Trump's Operation Epic Fury, we are now winning this critical fight at an even faster pace than anticipated. In response to Iran's terrorist attacks against global energy infrastructure, the Trump administration will continue to deploy America's economic and military might to maximize the flow of energy to the world, strengthen global supply, and seek to ensure market stability. Now, I want you to hear how crazy this is. It might not hit you right away how crazy what he's saying is, but first paragraph, how terrible Iran is. They're the head of the snake for global terrorism. And in the face of their terrorism, we're going to maximize energy to the world, right? That's the first paragraph. Second paragraph. Today, the Department of the Treasury is issuing a narrowly tailored short-term authorization permitting the sale of Iranian oil currently stranded at sea. So that would be like us saying we are going to take out Hitler in the World War II. Like we're taking out Hitler and, the Japanese. And they're like the heads of evil. They're the Axis, they're terrible. They're an existential threat to the world, and we've got to stop them, But at the same time, America needs a lot of products from Japan and Germany. So we're going to lift sanctions on them and open up trade with them. So basically, you're paying the people that you're trying to shut down. Like, you're basically funding their war. Like, just a crazy, I can't believe he wrote this. How are the words of these people still moving the market one way or the other, or moving the economy, or filling people with any type of reassurance? This is nuts to me. Like, do you know how down bad you have to be to, this is like getting beat up by somebody and you're announcing that you got them on the rope because you keep hitting their fist with your face. Like you're wearing their fist down, you've got a really hard face and they're losing really badly and you're about to go easy on them by passing out so that you don't have to keep beating them down and hitting, Yeah. Oh, it looks like we lost the screen share. I thought it was showing, but apparently it stopped showing. So this is kind of crazy that he actually typed this out. And I don't think Scott Bessent is a dumb guy, but I think when you work under Trump, you kind of have to become dumb because he's giving you the stupidest things to say. And like, no matter how smart you are, how can you sell to the public? Yeah, we planned this so badly that we're going to buy oil from the people that we're supposed to shut down in less than a week. So he's acting like they're doing this for the world. They're trying to help the world out. If you're beating down Iran so much, you wouldn't have to lift off the sanction because they'd be down in like a by tomorrow, and you just reopen the take over. Clearly, they're not going to be down for a while. If you feel like you need to lift these sanctions to keep, like, he needs to keep oil prices down. That's why he's doing this. And he also needs to find a way to hide that. He needs to find a way to hide that he's losing. So if he tells them to stop doing something and they keep doing it, then if he says, you know what, I'm going to let you do this, and they're doing what they're going to do anyway, that's what he's trying. That's what he's trying to do. So then they're using the Iranian oil barrels. He sort of says it. At present, sanctioned Iranian oil is being hoarded by China on the cheap. By temporarily unlocking this existing supply for the world, the United States will quickly bring approximately 140 million barrels of oil to the global markets. So he's saying that the reason why America's short on oil is not because, what he's saying is the reason the world is short on oil is not because America fucked up 20% of the oil market and threw everything in disarray and caused the prices to go up. No, it's because China's hoarding oil. China's hoarding oil. Instead of saying this is a piss poor attempt to fix a huge problem we created, like, instead of admitting this is a band-aid that we're trying to put on a flesh wound, because of course, why would you admit that? Instead of saying this is a weak fix to a problem, they're like, yeah, so as you all know, China was just so greedy with their oil, and that caused a problem. But now we're gonna kick Iran's ass and make them stop. Like, Iran and China are hoarding this oil amongst themselves, and China's eating up all this Iranian oil, and Iran's there laughing with China, like, ha ha ha! Look at all those Westerners can't get their oil, and now America is gonna pop in and tell China, hey, stop hogging all that oil. And they're going to say, like, hey, Iran, stop only giving it to China and stop hoarding it. Share the oil with everybody. Like, you realize how crazy you have to be to play in people's face like that? Like, Iran was already selling oil to the world. Like, these people aren't stupid. These people forgot that they used to buy oil from Iran and that it didn't stop coming to them because of China. like there was never, like, China was never the reason. It wasn't. Like, do you think Macron and the Chancellor of Germany and all these people are like, wait, is that what happened? I thought President Dumbfuck did this. Is it those Chinese people were hogging the oil? I guess that's what happened. Thanks, America, for. I'm guessing it has to be done for the benefit of the populace. Like, I think he's hoping the people are this stupid. I mean, it can't be for the benefit of the other countries, but this is how stupid they think you are. And sadly, I mean, he's not wrong, because every time they do these stupid things, the oil price drops. They've been trying to keep the price of oil down. So, I mean, I guess it's gotta. Yeah, the crazier part is that Americans believe it. Yeah, I don't know if it's regular Joe retail investors who are buying this shit and make the stock price drop every time they do one of their ridiculous headlines, or I don't know if it's the algorithms that the big banks do. But at some point, the algorithm should be fixed. If the algorithm is getting that manipulated by these ridiculous tweets, so I mean, I hope it's clear how ridiculous what he's saying here is, right? I think that's why there's such a wall of text to kind of hide how ridiculous what's being said is. This temporary short-term authorization is strictly limited to oil that is already in transit and does not allow purchase or production, new purchase or production. Further, Iran will have difficulty accessing any revenue generated. How can you prove this? And the United States will continue to maintain maximum pressure on Iran and its ability to access. So they're trying to tell you that, Iran's gonna be selling you their oil, but they won't be making any money off of it. Okay, why would Iran sell it? Uh, they're not going to enjoy that money. Trust us. We're not basically giving money to the person we're fighting with. We're not going to tell you how it is that they're not accessing the money from selling their own oil to you. Just trust us. Like, um, when I watch the news, it's weird that the news hates Trump so much, but they don't really make fun of the most obvious stuff with him. Like, they're so busy outraged. Like this guy is really, him and his people, they're so nuts. And I don't think they're good at conveying how evil he is, but I don't think they really convey just how cluelessly evil he is. Like they're direct fucking Keystone Cops. It's nuts. And Iran later said in response to this, because what they do was, in the days before the internet, you would have been able to get away with this because you wouldn't be able to see the other side. But now Iran is tweeting. People see the tweets. Everybody tweets now. So now, like, places like Iran, these other places are just tweeting and saying, that's not true. We didn't authorize any of this. So basically, yeah, they straight up told the world that we have no oil for you. Don't bother unsanctioning us because you're not gonna get any of that oil. So they undermined what Trump said, but regardless, the price still went down. And the truth from them never seems to fully ever outweigh the obvious lie what Trump said. I think it's in that way, like the reputation of America and how people just always assume the first world place is, like, people always assume a place that's, black, brown, or, East Asian. They think everything is South Korea. Everything is like Papa Doc Duvalier with like fake elections and stuff like that. So, or that, everything is like the old communist Russia stereotype. So I think there's a lot of people who just, when Trump says something, they're like, oh, of course, it's like the biggest country in the world. American exceptionalism, of course the war is almost over. Of course Iran's running scared. Of course what Trump is saying that, Iran is conceding. Of course that's what it is, And then when Iran shows you opposite propaganda, what I notice people say is they always say, oh, well, both sides are gonna do propaganda. Who are you gonna believe? Like, it's a thought terminating cliche. They're like, at first they were fine believing one-sided propaganda, but then suddenly when the other side shows like things burning down, American bases on fire, missiles being shot in Tel Aviv, and all this stuff that Trump was saying that they're on their last leg is not true, then suddenly it's the high road. Suddenly it's we know both sides do propaganda, and both sides are wrong in this, that. And it's not about who's right or wrong. It's like, why are you downplaying this? And it's because, like, on some level, it's like cognitive dissonance. It just can't register. And I figured this must have been what it must have been like for the Vietnam era. Can you imagine? Like, the first couple of weeks, everybody thought it was just like this, what we're thinking now. And this idea America could lose like a backwater was like foreign to them, even as late as the 80s. I feel like we were never told that they lost. It's only recently that they're kind of open about the fact that America lost. But growing up, we were told like it was like a stalemate. That's kind of how it was sold to us. And that soft-hearted liberals like made them quit before they got the job done, and it was like a stain, and it was like an unfinished. Like, no, that wasn't just an unfinished whatever. Like, that was a loss. That was a loss. Like, I remember growing up, it was common to say, like, U.S. of A., we've never lost any wars. Like, people really believe that was not a loss, which I find interesting. But yeah, more stuff about the Iran that Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, right here. Calling Iran the head of the snake for global terrorism and then letting them sell their oil is an interesting strategy for these morons. I thought that was funny. Here's another one. Absolute bombshell. The U.S. Treasury admits live on TV that they are unsanctioning Russian and Iranian oil just to manipulate global prices and save their own economy after starting a disastrous war. I think I just. Oh wait, it's not showing. Hold on. Okay, here it is.
And at Treasury, we unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water, and we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz. So we anticipated this. We knew that there could.
Yeah, they anticipated this. Okay.
Be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary choke point there, and there was 130 million barrels of floating storage. In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels.
So he keeps repeating himself.
So depending on how you count it, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China.
Yeah, so same thing. It's China's fault.
In essence,
why would it have all gone to China? Is there a particular reason? Because I'm pretty sure it was going to everybody before.
We will be using the Iranian barrels against the Iranians to keep the price down.
So they blatantly admit that they're manipulating the stock market and prices. So this is your 401k. This is like these things lead to layoffs. These things lead to like crashing the stock market by letting oil spike. It's just a mess. Like these are people's lives.
Next.
Oh, glorious. Glory.
Yeah, so they've admitted like multiple times that they're manipulating the stock market. This tab here shows an example. If you were following the news, this is what Trump has been saying. So this account here on Friday was tweeting every time he said something new. So he said at a certain point it'll open itself. This is an hour before it was screen captured. Then he says on the item in the card, I may have a plan or I may not. This one is taken out of context. I saw it and it was still an idiotic thing to say, but it wasn't as bad as it looks. I believe what he was saying was someone asked him his plan. And he said, I may have a plan or I may not. He was like, why would I tell you my plan? I'd be giving away to the other side. I may have a plan or I may not. But if I tell you, then I definitely am screwed. It's still a stupid thing to say, but I just want to be fair to that quote. Then he goes, Trump and Iran, I think we've won. Remember, it's last Friday. Then later on he says, on opening Strait of Hormuz, he needs a lot of help. So first it'll open itself, now it needs a lot of help. Then he says NATO hasn't had the courage to help us over Iran. But meanwhile, he says that he won 2 tweets before. Then he said, I don't want to do a ceasefire. So yeah, he's gone all over the place, and it's all like in the same day. This was interesting. IEA head of the Energy Administration has warned that it could take 6 months to restore oil and gas flows from the Gulf. So they're saying this is what I said last week about even if they were to reopen the Strait of Hormuz tomorrow, it's not just business as usual. Like enough of a mess has been made that it's gonna take 6 months to restore things back to normal. That's another reason why when the oil price just keeps going down every time Trump tells a lie, it shows how naive these people are, because they think that even if Trump's lies come true, people don't really realize how fucked everything is. And we're gonna explain why it's so fucked. It's deeper than just the oil. There's a lot of stuff at play, and it's deeper than just gas. So yeah, this is the same thing from Financial Times. The Iran war is the greatest threat to global energy in history, warns the IEA, and they said that it could take 6 months minimum to get things back where they were. And the point of all this is to give people kind of context as to what's happening with the war. For those still confused, the president is now simultaneously claiming that he won the war, is currently winning the war, needs help to win the war, and needs no help to win the war, which, by the way, is not a war. All to destroy the nuclear program he already said he destroyed last year. And there's nothing in that that's a lie. That's literally what was happening in a single day. Then he said this on Friday night after acting like, everything's okay. This is what this guy does, and it's the craziest thing. Monday through Friday, he tries to be like, don't worry, Chalmers, it's just steamed ham. That's the Aurora Borealis. Don't worry about that. Then, like on Friday, once the stock market closes, he just starts going crazy. He goes, okay, guys, it's a war again. And he lets the market tank over the weekend, confident that on Monday, he'll just tell a stupid lie about, oh, don't worry, everything's going okay. And it'll drop right back down. But the sad part is, like, it fucking works. It works. So after saying close to winding down in the afternoon, because the stock market went down around noon, and then suddenly he said, oh, we're close to being done. The stock market bounced again. He waited till it closed. Then he's like, now we're going all out war. We're going to storm the Strait of Hormuz. Then he goes, if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate the various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It's not just you can't read or you can't use the internet. Everyone in the hospital on life support basically dies. Schools, kids die. Like, you get really hardcore. So this is Trump art of the deal. He's trying to do a bluff. He's trying to bluff his way through this. Now, what happened is Iran wrote back, if you do that, all gloves are off. And they made a list, a very in-depth list of everyone they're going to target. And they were going to target all the United Arab Emirates places that fuck with America. And they also made a list of American targets on Middle Eastern soil, particularly like big hyperscaler tech companies. If those companies get hit to the stock market, the big 7 stocks, that takes the rest of the market down with it. So Trump did this bluff like on Saturday morning, and Monday morning is gonna be exactly 48 hours. So then today he comes out and announces that, hey, everything's fine. We're negotiating. And as soon as he said that, oil went down 10%. The stock market exploded. And I'm like, how is this possible? He's clearly did a bluff, said 48 hours, and then he realized that, oh shit, it's gonna be time. I can't look like I lost the bluff, but I can't go through with this either, because what they promised to hit back, we can't lose. So Trump's in this fucked up place. He can't follow through with the thing because he can't follow through with it because it's going to be disastrous for them. But he also can't just lose the bluff, because everyone's going to know he's losing the war, and he's not going to be able to save face. So instead, he announced that both sides came to the table. So he made a fake truce just so that he could get out of the bluff going wrong, and to drive the market down. So sure enough, to drive the oil market down while the stock market went up. So this is what he does. It's the fucking craziest thing. He announces, "I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had, over the last 2 days, very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East." Meanwhile, like, Iran was bombing like crazy. So, okay, whatever. Those 2 days, they were really in a meeting with you, but they were still bombing everything, including your interests. Based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth details and constructive conversations, I swear he used ChatGPT to do this, which, he spelled which wrong, WITCH. So maybe he didn't use ChatGPT, which will continue throughout the week. I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period. 5 days happens to be what? How long the stock market's open. So he announced a 5-day truce that they mutually came to. So this is what actually happened. He promised a big war over the weekend. He sent some troops. He bluffed. They said, if you do this, we're going to do this. And he waited. And he's like, fuck, it didn't work. And then he's like, hey, guess what, guys? We were just about to light them up, but we decided to come to the table. So now it looks like, and that's what people were talking about. Yeah, I knew Iran was on the ropes. I saw this all over the place. People were like, yeah, I knew it was they can't fuck with America, like backwater like that and everything. I'm like, how are you not just seeing what just happened right in our face? So let's realize America is coasting on a really good reputation. So then, if you look at this, Iran denies any contact with Trump, claims U.S. withdrew threat to strike power plants after Tehran's warning. So they basically said what I said, which is what was clear when Tehran warned what was going to happen if he did that. They withdrew the strikes. They went back, and then he announces this, and part of it's like not just America, but the office of the president has like a baseline level of respectability. So I think a lot of people just can't allow themselves to accept someone this blatantly transparent. Like some people, when they lie, one of the reasons why their lies work is because their lies are so ridiculous, no one can even believe that they're fake. They're like, okay, no one who's lying would lie this big. That's what like Trump is like. His lies are so shockingly egregious that I think you end up kind of making excuses for the lie or talking yourself out of the fact that you're seeing the lie that you're seeing. And I'll give an example of this in action, because I saw it in action. I couldn't believe it. I was like, why is this person giving him? So let me find it real quick. I'm not finding it right now, but somebody was basically trying to figure out what was happening with Trump, and they started telling themselves that well, maybe somebody in Iran was talking to Trump, but the person who denied it is the more militant head of the Iranian army. So what might have happened is that this person was talking to Trump for the past 2 days, but then the head of the army talked to them and said, hey, I'm not going to allow you to do the ceasefire. I'm a radical Muslim and I want to fight to the death. And then the person got scared and reneged. I'm like, oh my god, why are you making this headcanon over instead they're trying to find a way for that both of them to be telling the truth. And all these people in the comments are like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He's probably beholden to the more radical Islam wing of his army, and he can't do anything. And they had to like leave Trump hanging. I'm like, no, he just fucking lied. It's not that difficult. The Iranian person just told you what happened, that Trump is lying. And why? But I saw a lot of people doing this, trying to find ways to kind of gaslight themselves. There was a lot of that happening. Someone said the most unlearned rep of all time. Yes. Oh, this is the current headline. I mean, that's kind of honest though. Yeah, that I thought it was gonna be a bad headline, but yeah, no, it's good. The ultimatum was almost up. Then he found an out, and it's the out that also allowed him to bring the oil price down. Yeah, crazy work. I'm gonna show some more stuff. Give me a second. From almost done, followed by close to winding down, to a 48-hour ultimatum to Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz that the U.S. doesn't use, is what he said. In any case, it would be very easy to reopen, even by NATO cowards. This is somebody summarizing last Friday in Trump statements in one paragraph. Every single sentiment expressed here was something he said on Friday. Now, this is something that I thought it was showing on screen, but it's not. But it's something I wanted to show as well. The last tweet didn't show. But anyway, Iranian attacks have taken Qatar's Ras Laffan facility offline, the source of roughly 30% of the world's helium supply. So right now, 30% of helium is at stake. And helium is used for a lot of stuff. It's not just used for filling up funny balloons by clowns. Helium is essential for chip manufacturing, MRI machines, fiber optics, and superconductors. CEOs are now warning that 14% of output capacity is now permanently damaged. It may take 5 years to recover. So forget about the 6 months for oil, like 5 years for helium to recover. So think about chip companies, biotech companies. Once this hits the mainstream narrative, South Korea, 64% of helium imports from Qatar. So that means Samsung and SK having trouble. Taiwan Semiconductor gets 18% of global chips from there. Strait of Hormuz also hurts Japan. India, thousands of hospital MRIs already seeing scan delays, so people, are having trouble. Germany, spot prices up 100% on helium. United States, chip makers and buyers warned of 15 to 20% price hikes. Federal Reserve also strained. Also Singapore, UK, France, etc. So Australia is one of the few alternative exporters, but nowhere near enough to fill the gap. And I want to show this as well. Within oil by itself, there's this. People don't know everything is made from oil. This list represents a fraction of the common everyday products made from petroleum: extension cords, paint brushes, socket covers, oil filters, tires, pylons. Like I was just thinking about oil and gas and stuff and heating oil, but I forgot about petroleum and how many things petroleum is done. Teflon pots and pans, plastic bags, toys, pacifiers, seats, glasses, inhalers, bandages, lawn chairs. Yeah, so there's a lot of different fronts for There's a lot of fronts for inflation to happen. Here's more stuff. Yesterday afternoon, don't want to do a ceasefire with Iran. Yesterday evening, I'm winding down the war with Iran. Today afternoon, Trump is planning peace talks with Iran. This is on Friday. Today evening, the US will obliterate Iran's power plants if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. Then today, Monday morning, with oil like topping 100, he announced we had 2 days of very productive talks, and things are looking good. Qatar accounts for 1/3 of global helium supplies. Thankfully, we just use helium in balloons, and it is a critical component in the manufacturing of microprocessors and semiconductors, and a lot more. Something else people don't know: 40% of global fertilizer travels through Strait of Hormuz. We're in peak planting season for most summer crops. Food prices are going to skyrocket in the next 6 months. I want to react to this thing right here. Somebody breaking down.
Boxer amphibious ready group in the 11th. I told you guys, troops Friday after market close. I was half right. They announced it this morning. Please stick around because I'm going to tell you how much of a fucking catastrophe this is going to be. Boxer amphibious ready group in the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit are heading across the Pacific, which means it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks minimum for them to get there. 4,000 more Marines. Of course, stock markets tanked for the 4th consecutive week. My favorite thing was there was an announcement that came out right after this that said the president has no intention of using troops. This is the military and strategic equivalent of me showing up to your house going, I'm going to walk into your bathroom, I'm going to drop my pants directly over your toilet, but I'm not going to lay a giant shit in the toilet. I promise. I'm just checking everything out. The fuck would be sending a bunch of troops over there if we're not doing an amphibious invasion? The first one since Vietnam. Rumors are floating around that we're going to try to take Karg Island. If you don't know what Karg Island is, it's the maritime terminal where more than 90% of all of Iran's crude oil flows through, so they need it. Are you noticing a problem with the photo behind me? Go ahead and zoom in. That's the Strait of Hormuz right there, which is closed, and there's definitely mines, and the island's over there. So you're being pitched a ground invasion of this island to take the oil terminal from them while this is closed, and no one wants to pull a ship through there right now. You want to know why? Because this entire coastline is lined with artillery, drones, Sudoku boats. Hopefully you know what I meant by Sudoku boats. You know what? Go ahead, America. Go ahead and try to take this island. Drag a bunch of destroyers through that teensy little...
People don't realize like how small that strait is. Like it's basically like a 4-lane highway.
Strait and make it all the way to this island. And after 90% of them have sunk and thousands of American troops have perished, you'll be trapped on the island surrounded by bomb smoke. I feel like I'm going insane right now. Look at that fucking cowlick right there. I feel like I'm going insane. There's no way people genuinely think we could pull this off, right? I said this a week ago. The US is backed into a corner. It needs to fucking surrender unconditionally and withdraw all forces from the region. But it's the US. The US doesn't surrender. It still operates under this ridiculous assumption.
Yeah, so basically that gives you an idea of what he's dealing with this weekend. That's why he couldn't do that attack that he warned the 48 hours for. Is like geographically you just can't do it, and people don't realize the mountains that they have there. You gotta take a picture of that terrain. It is insane.
That it's the best ever. It's the best military ever. And speaking of which, our military is run by people who think they're anointed by God to do shit like this. This will be the greatest military disaster in United States history, and it will be studied for centuries to come. Of course, there's going to be people that are like, Nick, there's no way it happens. We've been saying that the entire fucking time, guys. I thought it was stupid to open fire in the first place. I thought it was stupid to have troops over there in the first place. I thought it was stupid to have the Abe Lincoln and Gerald Ford go over there in the first place. They still went over. I thought it was stupid to attack Iranian infrastructure, so now they've hit all of ours. And now we're facing the greatest energy crisis the world has ever seen. So nothing ever happens to me. I don't like to fearmonger. I like to be realistic. Look at the geography. Look at what the US is doing now, failing utterly, and think about what's to come. The off-ramp is the United States surrenders, and the US does not fucking surrender. If you have stayed here for almost 3 minutes, I love you dearly, and there's a kiss on the forehead for you. All I'm going to say to you is the very first video of a 20-year-old dude, a guy who's been brainwashed into serving the Jeffrey Alliance at such a young age, throwing away the rest of his life. The first video of one of them getting hit by a Sudoku drone, that is going to run a fault line, a San Andreas fault line, directly through the United States. That will be a media earthquake. I promise you that.
That'll be interesting. I mean, we'll see. We will see. But I thought this was funny too. Well, part of the problem with the petrodollar is right now, supposedly, Iran's making everybody buy the oil with Chinese yuan. So, if that's true, supposedly it already started happening with some countries. Someone said Trump is doing it again, and they put this.
Mr. President, please just tell us what to expect. We want some clarity here. How much oil will we be losing?
None. Everything is fine.
Isn't Iran blocking passage through the Strait of Hormuz?
We just kind of stopped using it, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. It's a much more scenic detour to go all the way around Africa. Also, aren't you woke Wall Street types?
Woke Wall Street?
Don't you all hate the straits anyways? We're looking for a non-heteronormative straight, a bisexual, if you will.
How long is this war lasting?
We're basically done.
Really? That's great news.
Yes. Okay, that's market close. Shit's fucked, man.
Why did you? What was the point of this?
Everything is fine.
War's done?
Iran is toast, but we keep letting them shoot our stuff and allies because we think.
Now, the funny thing, this is played up for ridiculousness, but everything that he's saying here is a statement that was really said by the president. He's just condensing it into one-line statements. But the timeline, a week by week, he's going to do 4 weeks, and every statement that he gives here is a real statement that was a real sentiment that was shared by the president. I want to make that clear to people that this is not just exaggerated humor. That even though it's a sketch, he is literally using every excuse used by Trump in the week that Trump used it.
It's funny.
People are dying.
Mission accomplished. Times 10, times infinity.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like we're going to be done. So this is good. This is great.
Market's closed.
Yeah. Why?
So fucking scared.
Okay.
So I was talking to AI BB. He says he'll let us retreat. I mean, win any day now.
You keep saying
War is done. War never started. Nothing is happening. And if it did, I wouldn't tell you.
good enough for
At
us.
this point, you just have to blame yourselves, right? Market closed.
Yeah.
Oil fields are being hit. Oil's going to be $250 a barrel.
Come on. Why do you? Even during a war? Even during a war, you're manipulating the markets. I mean,
Well, I am a piece of shit.
and we respect that, Mr. President.
Yeah. So that really is what's happening now. That really is how the market is working. So let me show this. This is a perfect example where I say like really smart people have trouble just processing the basic truth, right? So this guy, his name is Mario Nafal, and I don't really know what he does, but he seems to be like a smart guy. He works for a startup, it's kind of LinkedIn-y, I mean, smart guys, and he went to like a good school or something, but a lot of these people, these kind of fast company, tech bro, TED talky type of people who are in business and in tech, it's weird. Like they know the corporate world, but they have like no common sense about the real world. It's like very weird. They're very credulous online. They're like, America's the best place on the earth, and AGI is coming tomorrow, and Elon is doing amazing things, and the AI is gonna do this, those types. So I follow him. Well, I don't follow him, but I was looking at him for news because he kept posting news, and he says the man Trump claimed he was negotiating with just said this is fake news by Trump to manipulate financial and oil markets. This means one of two things. So to me, Okay, this is one of two things. One, Trump lied. Okay, so at least he entertains it. Or two, the IRGC, that's the Iranian militant army, pressured the Iranian negotiator to pull out of the talks. This guy is from the IRGC, right? I believe he's from the IRGC. So he created his headcanon in his head, this fan fiction he made up, that this guy in the tweet who said it was a lie, he's saying that because he went there and forced the negotiator. So like, what did he do? He just popped on over during the negotiation and said, "Hey, we're leaving. We're going home." He picked him up by his ear and just walked him out. Like that that's really what you think happened. My bet is on number 2, and we are seeing a power struggle in Iran in real time. He did not get this from anywhere. Like, he's saying this like it's something that really happened. He just made this up in his, like, someone's just saying very basic. The president who has been lying to you every day, all day long, multiple times a day, was lying again with the exact same lie he was busted for the past 4 Mondays. This guy's like, so Trump lied like this guy says, and he's been doing it like multiple times a day, multiple times a week, including every Monday morning at the time of this statement. Or maybe there's a whole power struggle happening in Iran, and you know what Trump was doing was true, but Iran, they want to quit because they're on the ropes and they're afraid of American might, but blah 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 blah. I say, let's look. It is what it is. He made a threat. It said 48 hours. The threat came about. The markets are melting down, and Iran threatened back, and they called my bluff. This lie worked before. Let me just say it again. Like something that simple. He can't understand. Then he goes, as explained in my post below, we are seeing a split in Iran between the ideological and radical IRGC, who are fighting for the survival, and the more moderate and pragmatic executive branch. This could get ugly. So he was told Trump lied. He created a second option out of thin air, then decided to bet on the second option that only he made up based on his own headcanon, based on nothing. Then he declaratively says, we are seeing a power struggle. Then he says, check my post below. So based on this thought process, he makes a whole post about it. And then some people make sense. They're like, yeah, it's number 2 because he hasn't been lying and contradicting himself every day. But meanwhile, there's a lot of people who there's a lot of people who actually go with it and even add their own conspiracies. Like there's so many people who were running with it. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people are pushing back, and I'm glad. A lot of people were like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, are you dumb? But a surprising amount of people, still too many people, were entertaining him and his crazy headcanon. Let's keep going. We talked about the helium. Oh, this is a good one. This is something that I think a lot of people don't see, but need to see.
I don't see any room for diplomacy anymore because Donald Trump has been deceiving others and not keeping his promises. And we experienced this in 2 times of negotiations, that while we were engaged in negotiation, they struck us.
Do you consider this an existential threat to the Islamic Republic?
It is an existential threat to the Islamic Republic, and therefore we have to stay with full might. The proof is in the pudding. What is important for us is the end of this game, and we are ready to continue.
So this was March 21st. That's Saturday. Why would a top official say this, but America's negotiating with Iran for 48 hours? Wouldn't it just make them look stupid? I mean, all the evidence is right there that Trump is lying, but people will still kind of be like, well, maybe it's be over soon. Maybe he's not lying. Like maybe Iran's on the rope. Like these dudes are chilling. Like even the people who say, right, oh, the both sides are doing propaganda. Why should we believe any of them? Which they only ever say when America looks bad. You know, they're fine believing stuff when it's coming from America, and it was going with the narrative they wanted, right? But even though both sides use propaganda, you can still judge the propaganda. One side has been saying the same thing over and over again, like a broken record. They have not flip-flopped once. They always ask for the same things. We want reparations. We want acknowledgement you're wrong. You want like all these things done. And one side is saying 20 things a day and writing multi-paragraph screeds and is acting really erratic, while this other side is just looking calm and determined, you know? So yeah, I mean, it's a choice to choose to believe that. More power to him. This was an actual better one because it actually is time-stamped. And this is totally true. Friday, barely exaggerated. 12:03 tells reporters he wants a ceasefire with Iran. 12:05 declares victory. 12:07 announces sending the Marines. No boots on the ground. Then he said he didn't want a ceasefire. He declared victory again. Asked for a ceasefire. He told NATO they were cowards. I know it's all happened the same day, but I didn't realize it was this close together. Then he said Iran was begging for a ceasefire. He said everything was perfect at 12:31. He said $500 oil was a good thing. He demanded Iran open Hormuz. He said Hormuz was closed. And he said U.S. was not at war with Iran, but I think the timestamps are exaggerated. But he really did say all these things. Now I want to show this. And I think this is another problem. Is that back in the days, you know, there was a lot of asymmetric information. It wasn't easy to get information. But now Iran is doing memes. I don't know if you guys saw this meme. So while Trump is trying to talk smack on Friday about the attack and opening Hormuz, and they're gonna force it open and stuff. And I like a little emoji up here, but check this out. Sorry, I was blocking. I'm gonna start over because I didn't realize the banner was blocking. I want you guys to see because on the lower left corner is where a lot of the action is. This is hilarious. Oops, we're gonna go right back out. Which is what happened. So he tells him to come back. Yeah, and the ship did evacuate. That's something that really happened. Like, this is from Iran. Iran made this meme. You know what's funny? in World War II and things like that, they used to have the draft, and then based on your talents in the civilian world, it used to be used for stuff like, so for example, like you were a comedian or entertainer, they'd have you entertain the troops. Like if you were an artist, then they would use, or a writer, they might use you in the Office of Communications. If you're an engineer or whatever, they might use you in that capacity, or a doctor. I'm trying to imagine like Iran and America trying to like recruit the best memers and the best influencers and best video essayists. Like it's hilarious to me. They're making memes now. They're fighting with memes, and Trump's memes look like Trump's memes would look like. His memes regarding this war, he's got memes that are done by those weird conservatives that love bad AI. I mean, even though most AI is bad, but I mean extra bad AI. And this is actually like better memeing. This is like very kind of crude and simple and effective, not like Trump's weird, overly rendered AI memes. And they showed themselves getting richer. This is fucking nuts. I wish I could read that. Yeah. So this is where we're at right now. We got freaking Department of Memes. So yeah, every week when markets open, and this is interesting because this is someone from Tehran saying this. So Iran notices. Every week when markets open, Trump makes these kind of statements to drive down oil prices. Even his 5-day deadline aligns with the closure of the energy market. But in reality, there are no negotiations underway, nor does Trump have the capability to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's firm threat has once again forced Trump to back down. Yeah, so I mean, Iran even knows. And then someone quote tweeted and said this. They said, "At this point, everyone, including the Iranians, can see through the charade of Trump taco headlines. The man simply cannot tolerate a decline in stocks or high oil prices. Terrible place to be negotiating from when your own enemy knows how to make you fold like a lawn chair, the art of the dawn." And you say everyone, but I mean, it is working. So what can we say? Now this happened, and someone in the comments mentioned this. Someone in the comments mentioned, did you see the unusual Wales reported billions of dollars in futures were sold just prior to Trump's announcement? Convenient, eh? And I heard a lot of people saying this. That it looks like market manipulation or whatever, because it says right here, 5 minutes before Trump's announcement, 1.5 notional worth of S&P futures were bought in a single dip, and a bunch of oil shorts. Someone bought a bunch of oil shorts like 5 minutes before the announcement. Now, what I think is this. I think it might not be market manipulation. I think it might not be an insider. And I'll tell you why. Because at this point, this is the new normal. This is the new normal now. This could be an insider. This could be one of Trump's friends, whatever. But myself, my friend was freaking out over the weekend and sending me all this stuff. And part of me was freaking out too, to a little bit. And I told him, you know what? And I said this to him. I was like, you know what? The past 4 weekends, 4 Sundays, I've watched, the world go on fire and go crazy. And then this nut just gives a blatant, transparent lie. And everybody's okay with it. And somehow the market bounces back. So I just can't help feeling that's going to happen tomorrow. Again, that he's just going to say something and bail it out. But the other thing is, I don't want to get super worked up and whatever to get a false alarm again. Like, if it does go totally wrong and we're screwed tomorrow, I'll wait till tomorrow. And then, but I'm pretty sure all the dipaholics, some people are just always waiting to buy a dip all the time. All the dipaholics, all those people, they're gonna just buy in. If it's the algorithms doing it, yeah, all that stuff, they're gonna just find a way to make peace with it and annoy it and ignore it. And sure enough, this morning it happened. And I just couldn't believe it. But I think that's probably what that investor did. That investor probably did the exact same thing. Like, do you really need to be an insider to kind of figure this out? Like, you have to bet on two things. A lot of dumb people out there with a lot of money and a president that lies. That's all you got to bet on. I mean, if this war is still going on next week, they're going to run the same play again. Now, I can't guarantee it'll work. There's a part of me that keeps thinking, okay, third time's a charm. Fourth time's a charm. No, fifth time is going to be exposed. And it doesn't happen. So I can't guarantee that next week is not the week that people finally wake up for whatever reason. But what I will say is he's going to try. Monday, after setting the world on fire all weekend, he's going to, if it's going on a week 5, and part of me is just fascinated because I'm just like, how long can it go? Like, I think we're finding out once and for all just how dumb post-Trump America is. Like, we're finding out, like, we've always kind of speculated, like, how much is too much? At what point is it just going to be like, okay, this is the limit, and it never ever comes. It just doesn't. And this is, I think, the one that's really going to test. Like, I wanted to go on for as long as it can, just because I just want to see, like, at what point is the spell going to break, and people are just going to be like the people who are falling for this every Monday. I want to see what happens when they just one day are just like, okay, even I think this is bullshit. Like, that point must exist somewhere. And I feel like if he gets lucky, if he gets a Hail Mary and this wraps up, we're never going to find out just how dumb these people are. And we're going to risk repeating this again because he's going to be so emboldened. There's something else I wanted to share. Friday, Trump, we are preparing to wrap up the war. Markets close. Saturday, Trump will bomb Iran power plants but doesn't end war in 48 hours. Markets open in 48 hours. Monday, Trump, we've been talking to the Iranians. No strikes on the power plants. And someone put this quote from Avatar: "There is no war in Ba Sing Se while the markets are open." And that's an episode about a village where they didn't have fights during the time that the markets were open. This is an example of just how things drop when he so someone put oil prices tumbling, and then someone responded, where did anybody get the idea that the markets are a good way to process information? Some guy who lies all the time tweets something, and these highly paid idiots just move information. And this is the mechanism that's running the world. Oops, I thought it was on screen. It keeps losing the screen, but this is what I was reading. And you can see the crazy drop right there. And this is the last tweet that I'm gonna share. Yeah, so we have a Champagne Sharks Twitter that we just use for booking guests, because some guests, we don't have their emails, but they're reachable on Twitter and stuff. So we have the account for that, and that's the only thing we use it for booking. But it came in handy because Twitter ended up being a really good place to keep track the war. It was doing such a better job, and it kind of makes me sad, like it's so bad, because it does have good uses. If you could just take away so much of the bad stuff and the weird scamming and the Nazis and Elon and the blue checks who get paid for engagement and always trying to do these weird spammy posts, it would. The news function of it, I really miss. It was really, I mean, you still have to sift through the lies. There's a lot of people telling lies on it. You can't get totally complacent. But a lot of these clips like this one, I wasn't seeing elsewhere. So Iran just dropped the most humiliating ultimatum on Washington. They demand the close of all U.S. bases in the region, a $2 million toll for Western ships in Hormuz, and $100 billion in reparations. They're treating the U.S. like a defeated empire.
$100 billion worth of reparations to be paid by Israel and by the United States for all the damage they've inflicted on Iran. Well, that has certainly not, as far as we can see from what Donald Trump has been saying, been part of the discussions that have been taking place with these mysterious Iranian leaders over the past few hours.
Yeah, so with all those claims, you mean to tell me that which of those claims are you gonna cave on? And I think what Iran is doing with these, making public all these exorbitant claims, is they're saying stuff that they know America is not going to agree to. And some people think that the fact that they have a list of things they want in a ceasefire, a lot of people are using that as proof that, okay, they don't really want this war, or they're on the ropes because they have a list of demands. But if you look at the demands, they're pretty hardcore demands. They're demands that they know in a million years the American government is not going to give them. And I think more people kind of got to realize that when they say that stuff, it's not what you think it is. It's not an earnest attempt to fix the problem. Anyway, I want to do this last 11-minute video, and then we're going to be done. And I think this will give you a good idea of, this guy does good summaries. This guy has a look to him that he looks like, he would be like one of those redneck racist bikers and stuff, and he has all the Valhalla stuff and all that stuff. So I always keep waiting for him to say something like crazy, out of pocket, conservative, but so far he hasn't. If he's into some weird stuff, I apologize. But from what I've seen, he just has that look, but he doesn't seem to be like some ridiculous like reactionary MAGA guy or anything. And I'll be honest, even if he was, good coverage is good coverage. So fuck it, I would play it anyway. But this guy he's doing good summaries. His name is Valhalla VFT. He's doing really good summaries, and I suggest people find him and follow him. He's been, a lot of stuff that he says is stuff that I've seen myself on Twitter, but he's good at compiling it all into a narrative and putting it all in one place. And he has history of the military, so he gives some military input.
Call 1 in the Geneva Convention said you cannot target civilian and civilian objects, including homes, hospitals, schools, power plants, and water systems. So yes, Donald Trump was threatening.
That I didn't know. What Donald Trump was threatening to do is like he's not even legally allowed to do. Not that it would ever stop him, but
Truth Social war crimes, and also giving away classified information. Isn't that interesting that they're trying to try Joe Kent for supposedly leaking classified information while the president of the United States is putting top secret plans out on Truth Social? Nice. his 48-hour threat to commit massive war, the best we can hope for at the moment, and that is that, yes, Donald Trump has officially chickened out on his 48-hour threat to commit massive war crimes and bomb civilian power plant infrastructure in Iran. And yes, this is actually a very good thing that this didn't end up happening, but in complete Donald Trump fashion, he made up a complete bullshit reason because Iran essentially just called his bluff on this. But really what this all is just stock market manipulation. And I'm going to walk you through what Trump is doing for himself, his crony buddies, and his son, who's just absolutely savagely trading oil futures right now. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, helps the channel, follow us on Patreon, grab some merch. All right, let's jump into it. Let's see. I mean, I know this timeline is so fast and it's hard to keep track of. Every day it's something different with Trump. Like, we already won the war.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you need Twitter for all the bad mouthing I do with Twitter. It has been invaluable during this because this guy says something new every half hour or hour. Like, you can't just have a 6 p.m. Evening News Tonight summary of any of this. YouTube is the second best place. Like, people like this who compile the stuff, but news is not built to cover this type of weirdness.
Then we're sort of winning the war. Then we're begging our allies to get in the war. Then we're leaving 48-hour threats to bomb civilian power plant infrastructure. And then 48 hours later, now we're in peace talks. Yeah, peace talks. Of course, Iran came out and said that's absolutely not true, and we'll show you their response to this. But let's start at the beginning. Now, the timing of this stuff is important to pay attention to because Trump has done it over and over and over again. Keep in mind things like, when did we start the war? On a weekend. Why? So that they can manipulate the stock market. So we got this tweet after markets had closed over the weekend. And so, yes, of course, a lot going on with this one tweet. But Donald Trump had said, if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Okay, so very interesting right out the gate, because just earlier that same day, he would already announce that we completely won the war. Then he puts out these threats. And so first, what did this, of course, do to the futures market?
Yep. Over the weekend, it was going crazy.
So yes, traders that went long on Friday thinking maybe we would have some improvement, they find this out after hours, and of course the market immediately reverses. And we'll talk more about that here in a second, but we also have to notice is, again, Donald Trump threatening to bomb and destroy civilian power plants. Now, what was the really big problem with that threat to begin with? I don't know. Maybe, that literally in Protocol 1 in the Geneva Conventions said you cannot target civilian and civilian objects, including homes, hospitals, schools, power plants, and water systems. This is part of the fundamental principle of distinction between military and civilian targets. So yes, Donald Trump was threatening over Truth Social war crimes and also giving away classified information. Isn't that interesting that they're trying to try Joe Kent for supposedly leaking classified information while the president of the United States is putting top secret plans out on Truth Social? Nice. And so the reason why this actually is very good news, and Iran called Trump's bluff, is that, yeah, had we bombed their power plants, Iran announced that the immediate retaliation of that would be hitting the desalination plants in the Gulf states, which would probably have created a refugee crisis of about 50 to 60 million people. So, yeah, we really don't need to go down these roads. And Iran had actually immediately called Trump's bluff.
Yeah, I actually forgot about the desalination plants.
And they put out a
That's actually huge too.
You've probably seen it. It's
the huger thing than what I mentioned.
To Donald Trump's 48-hour threat.
A reminder to the corrupted island man. The ground and the map of the war is in our hands.
So the reason why that's going viral is at the end of his response, he literally switches to English to specifically say directly to Donald Trump, to the corrupt island man, a reminder that the war is in their hands. Their response was to literally call Donald Trump a pedophile. So it doesn't seem like they were taking the threat very seriously. And of course,
Epstein
48 hours later, right before the market opens, what did Donald Trump come out and say? Yes, Donald Trump came out and said, we have major points of agreement in talks with Iran.
Now look at this. And this is something that's a great point too. By the time this video came out, the talks would have been probably close to being done or wrapping up. So if the talks did happen, why would this guy still be talking spicy right before them?
Trump's 48-hour threat.
A reminder to the corrupted island man. The ground and the map of the war is in our hands.
So the reason why that's going viral is at the end of his response, he literally switches to English to specifically say directly to Donald Trump, like they were taking this conflict to end as fast as possible.
That's crazy.
If we pull this off, it'd be fantastic. What's the big problem with that? Iran came out and said, we haven't spoken to Donald Trump or the United States, and there are no ceasefire agreements. So again, Donald Trump's just completely making these things up out of thin air. And why is he doing it? Because he's trying to stop.
But the market stayed down. I mean, the oil market stayed down all day, and the regular market ripped 800 points. So it wasn't like, that's the crazy thing. It wasn't like it corrected when Iran corrected the record. And that's why I think in a way, I think people abuse the white privilege thing or Western privilege, but I think it really is just that. I just think it carries more weight what the person with America behind them says. even the person's a clear lying buffoon.
Stock market from tanking into oblivion. And we saw the reaction of exactly that. And I'm not really sure how the stock market and all the finance bros haven't picked up yet that Donald Trump has done this like 9 times so far in the war. But as you can see, as of this morning, the S&P 500 is up 1.5% because I guess the world thinks that we're going to have a ceasefire. Okay, great. Fantastic. I hope so. But what's the problem with that is you can't keep it straight because he's also saying stuff like this. So again, at the same time that we supposedly are coming to a deal, Donald Trump has also said there will be no deal with Iran except for unconditional surrender. After that, in the selection of great and acceptable leaders, we and many of our wonderful, brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you're wondering what the is going on here, don't worry. If you don't know, none of us know. All right, guys. So the product we're going to be talking about today is Black Force Supplement. It's qualified health claim for cocoa flavanols and high flavanol, some cocoa flavanols, and also right now, guys, back to the video. But what we do know is this is the most blatant, obvious stock market manipulation ever. I mean, he's done this like 9 times.
And this is why, like, you know, the other guy was saying, like, who cares about the stock market? But I think it's good to know about this stuff because your major things that will be affecting your life are being decided. Whether you're going to pay $200 oils or not, it's going to be decided on how Trump feels about the stock market today. Or a lot of stuff that can make your life miserable is happening because of the stock market.
Times already to try to control the price of oil. Did it a couple weeks ago where he announced that the war was pretty much wrapped up, and of course oil tanked, and then everybody realized the war wasn't over, and oil skyrocketed to the moon once again. Also, the stock market has been tanking into oblivion, and it is very obvious that this is just a damage control measure.
And you know, this thing is interesting, man. I was telling my friend this the other day. I was like, on Sunday night when I saw everything blowing up, and I saw people this morning just gaslighting themselves and saying, "Oh, okay, it's not so bad. It's going to be over soon. This is a ceasefire." There's a million pictures on Twitter of things being blown up still, and everyone's denying that they made a deal with him. But sure, yeah, they're all lying about the deal that they're in, but he's not. Like, think about it. They're lying about their own deal. These Iranians supposedly. And when I saw that, it made me think of this. Let me pull it up. I thought I just had it showing. This is America right now and Donald Trump. This is really us right now. Yeah, that's really what this is what life is like. And I was telling my friend, like, you know, from the time I was a kid, we always said, yo, how did you know, things happen in 1938? Like, how did Germany just, you know, not see what was happening right in front of them, you know? And now we're living in an era where I'm seeing in action. Like I'm like, wow, that can happen. That can really happen. Like, you know, it's possible. Like a bunch of people can just see craziness happening right in front of them and just be like, it'll be okay.
Moment. And there was some very suspicious behavior with the market today. You, of course, have Barron Trump, who I believe invested close to $30 million into oil at the market low, which, of course, is paying off incredibly well. I imagine he probably sold it at the market top before this new ceasefire announcement. But what we also have is
so his kids are already taking advantage of markets.
Things like this. Somebody who bought $1.5 billion in oil futures right before the announcement. Yeah, they keep doing this. It's almost like this is designed as just a way for the people close to Donald Trump to make millions and billions of dollars off this conflict.
Again, I don't even think these people necessarily have to know Donald Trump. They might, but I think it just could just be random rich people.
As you can see here, this was the massive reversal of the SPY, which tracks the S&P 500 after hours on Donald Trump's announcement that the war's winding down. As you can see, it shoots to the moon. Now, I wouldn't be shocked by end of day if it's already back negative, or in the next couple days for sure, when people realize that the Strait of Hormuz is still not open and there actually was no negotiations whatsoever. Now, again,
but the crazy thing is they're going to fall for it again. That's the part that I'm just not getting. Like, we always make fun of other people as being like so dumb and primitive, but then I see us, and it's like,
We should want this to end. We want a ceasefire. We don't want this war to continue. Obviously, go look at the gas station, see the gas prices, look at the way the economy.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, follow him. He's great in this stuff. Again, if he ends up saying some great replacement theory stuff, I apologize, but I haven't seen it happen yet. Valhalla VFT, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, contact us at championsharks@gmail.com if you have topic suggestions, things like that. We're always welcome to them. Again, can't guarantee I'll do the topics that you want. Please don't come into my comments complaining. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll see if on Friday night World War III resumes, and day what happens. Maybe we'll have a Hail Mary. Maybe something will surprise us will happen. And I just can't see why Iran would agree this soon, but maybe they'll dangle a big carrot in front of them. I don't know. I don't see it happening personally, though. Everyone, thanks. Appreciate it. Always enjoy having you here, and glad that you could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with us. Much appreciated. And we will talk soon. Oh, also, everybody hit the hype, the like, the comment, the share. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. All right? Be good. Take care.